These people are amongst the greatest quiz players in Britain. Together, they make up the Eggheads, arguably the most formidable quiz team in the country. The question is, can they be beaten? Welcome to Eggheads, the show where a team of 5 quiz challengers pit their wits against possibly the greatest quiz team in Britain. Here they are, the Eggheads. How are you feeling today?
Blooming.
Very chipper.
Very chipper, says Judith. OK. Well, challenging our resident quiz champions today are the Bramflicks from Cumbria. Now, this team are all members of the Brampton Film Club and meet regularly to watch and rate films together. So, let's meet them.
Hello, I'm Darryl and I'm a retired IT manager.
Hi, I'm Paul and I'm a security guard.
Hi, I'm Richard and I'm a painter.
Hi, I'm Peter and I'm a field operations manager.
Hi, I'm Jane and I'm a product manager.
So, Darryl and team, hello.
Hello.
Great to see you. It all centres around a film club, this.
It does indeed, yes.
Right, and you go and see new films, classic films?
We see recent films, we see classic films, we see family films, and we put on about 20 films a year.
Lovely. Do you go to a cinema or do you have a special place?
No, it's in the local community centre and we have all our own special equipment for showing the films.
Brilliant. So you'll sit down and the projector goes on. It's a really great experience.
It's not a projector, it's a bit more high-tech than that these days. But,
You're disappointing me now. Have you seen any classics recently?
Casablanca is coming up soon.
Brilliant. I'm thinking when we announce the film and TV round, if we do, there'll be a huge Barney over who does it.
Yeah, we're a bit worried about showing ourselves up on that one.
And what about quizzing? Do you quiz together as well, Darryl?
Well, 3 of us do. Richard, Paul and myself, we play regularly in a quiz league around Carlisle, but this is the first time we will have quizzed with Jane and Peter.
Brilliant. Well, when you said the words quiz league, I just heard them go, oh, like that. It's a little noise of fear, which is good.
Good.
We want to unsettle them. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs for our challengers. However, if they fail to defeat the Eggheads, the prize money rolls over to the next show. Now, Bramflicks, I can tell you that the Eggheads, if they're looking like they've got a bit of a swagger, it's because they've won the last 14 on the trot.
Oh, wow.
But that's actually, in a way, good, because it means the jackpot is high. It's £15,000. Would you like to try and win it now?
Yes.
I thought you, since you're here, you might as well. So the first head-to-head battle is on the subject of history. And you can choose between Judith, Kevin, Steve, Barry and Dave.
Right, who do we want to do for history?
History, then.
Peter?
I'm happy to do history, yeah.
OK, I think, yes, I think Peter. Peter will
Peter,
take that on.
OK,
Yep.
our field operations manager against which Egghead? Difficult choice.
Yes, perhaps it is today.
Who doesn't know their kings and queens?
Possibly Dave.
OK, let's go for Dave then.
Yeah, OK.
We'll go for Dave.
All right, Peter from the Bramflicks to play Tremendous Knowledge Dave, as we call him, from the Eggheads. And just to ensure there's no conferring, would you please now take your positions in our famous question room? OK, so we are on history. Peter versus Dave. And Peter, you can choose whether you go first or second.
I'd like to go first, please, Jeremy.
Here we go. Good luck. Round 1 against our Egghead. Who won the Republican primary elections in the USA in 1980 to become that party's presidential candidate? Gerald Ford, George H.W. Bush or Ronald Reagan?
Well, that's around the time of Margaret Thatcher, isn't it? So that, thinking about their special relationship, that must be Ronald Reagan.
Yes, Ronald Reagan it is. Well done. Dave, your question. Which river did Julius Caesar famously cross in 49 BC, precipitating a civil war? Tiber, Rubicon or Po?
It's the Rubicon.
Rubicon, quite right. Well done. The phrase to cross the Rubicon means you can't go back, Barry, doesn't it?
Yes, it was the boundary between Cisalpine Gaul and Rome itself, the province of Rome itself, and traditionally no leader could bring his legions into Rome. So by crossing the Rubicon, Caesar effectively declared war on Rome.
I see. OK, thank you, Barry. Right, we go back to you, Peter. Which woman, best remembered as the mistress of Lord Nelson, was described as a charming woman, beautiful and exceedingly good-humoured and amiable? Emma Hamilton, Nell Gwynn or Lily Langtry?
Yes, I know this one, because I think she was married to Lord Hamilton at the time. The answer is Emma Hamilton.
Yes, indeed. Well done, you. Emma Hamilton's right. You know your history. OK, Dave. In 1933, a Dutchman, Marinus van der Lubbe, was convicted of setting fire to which building? Westminster Abbey, the White House, or the Reichstag?
Right, I'm just getting my head together because I have heard the name.
I'm going to rule out the White House and Westminster Abbey and go for the Reichstag, please.
You're absolutely right. And significance of this, Kevin, was that Hitler used it as an excuse to crack down on communists.
It was a pretext, yeah. I mean, he was a Dutch communist. So this sort of conveniently happened soon after the Nazis had come to power. And yeah, there was a pretext to crack down on all opponents.
And may not even have been him anyway, who knows?
Probably wasn't.
Yeah, Reichstag is right, Dave. You two are good, I can tell, good history quizzers. Okay, Pete, the third question can be crucial. Here we go. After deposing Henry III at the Battle of Lewes, Simon de Montfort was de facto ruler of England for approximately how long? 3 years, 1 year, or 1 week?
I seem to think this was quite a short period of time, so I'm going to guess 1 week.
Dave, is it a week? Is it that short?
I would have gone a year myself, but that's me.
1 week is almost too short to even be counted. 1 year is the answer. Peter, now we got to hope that David slips up. Here we go for the round, Dave. Which British Prime Minister spent his 21st birthday under fire while observing the Cuban War of Independence? David Lloyd George, Winston Churchill, or Anthony Eden?
Got to think of when the Cuban War of Independence was. Because Anthony Eden lived into the 70s, so I can't see it being him. So I'm thinking the Cuban War of Independence is towards the end of the century. Churchill was a war journalist. Well, if it's 21st birthday, that's going to be 1890s for Winston Churchill. I've got to think whether the 1890s was right. It's going to be 1895, precisely his 21st birthday. I've got to go Winston Churchill.
Okay, so well, your dates are very good. 1895 to 1898 was the Cuban War of Independence. And so that matches Churchill's age at the time. And you're right, the other clue, I suppose, is that his job was to go around the world and report from trouble spots as a journalist. So Winston Churchill's quite right. Well done, Dave. Sorry, Pete, he kind of truffled that out, didn't he?
He did.
You've been beaten by our egghead and will not therefore help your team in the final round. Peter, Dave, please come back, rejoin your teams, and we'll play on. As it stands, the Bramflicks have lost the brain from the final round, but it's early days. The Eggheads have not lost any so far, and our next subject is music. Who would like this?
What do we think about music? Do you want to go for it, Richard?
I would have a go, yeah.
Richard?
I'll have a go.
Okay,
Okay.
our painter against which Egghead?
Judith.
Maybe Judith?
We'll try Judith.
Judith on music. Feeling good?
No.
Well, that's handy. Richard from the Bramflicks to play Judith from the Eggheads. To ensure there's no conferring, please go to our question room now. Music, Richard, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, please, Jeremy.
Here we go. Which of these words means to play an instrument with a vibratory effect? Croon, belt, or trill?
Nice start. Going to rule out trill and go down the middle and go for belt.
Trill is the answer. That means to play an instrument with a vibratory effect. Judith, which American music group faced a backlash in 2003 when they made disparaging remarks about George W. Bush and the war in Iraq? The Dixie Chicks, Hanson, or Wilson Phillips?
I don't know. I really don't know. Hanson.
That's wrong. This is the Dixie Chicks, Judith.
Oh, it's the Dixie Chicks.
So it's level. No score yet. Back to our challenger. An album by which of the following was the biggest selling record on vinyl in the UK in 2016? Richard, was it Radiohead, Prince, or David Bowie?
I'm going to say David Bowie and hope it's a Black Star one just after his death.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, the brilliant David Bowie. Sadly, posthumous sales. Judith, what is the title of Zara Larsson's single which reached the UK top 10 in 2017? I would like Human or Rockabye.
I'm afraid I don't know. Human.
It's I Would Like. So you have a chance here, Richard, to take the round. Gillian Gilbert has found fame as the keyboard player in which British group? Human League, New Order, or Happy Mondays?
I have not heard of this person. New Order, please.
New Order. Now, let's just check this. I've got a thought in my head that she might be married to the drummer, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's married to Stephen Morris.
He's the one who's on that. His face is on one of the covers, isn't it?
It is.
Low Life, is it?
Low Life, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're a New Order fan.
Oh, very
All
much.
I could tell.
Very good group.
Richard, you're right. It is New Order. Well done. 2 out of 3 is enough. Takes you into the final. Judith, sorry, no score.
No.
Always classy. Judith, come back to us. Richard, you too. And we'll see what happens in round 3. So as it stands, the Bramflicks have lost a brain from the final round, while the Eggheads have also lost one. And the next subject is arts and books. Which Bramflick would like this?
Right. Well, do we think you're going to do that,
Do you
Jane?
want me to do that?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, happy to do that.
Jane?
Yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Okay, our product manager on the end. Against which Eggheads? So you got the 3 in the middle. You got Barry, Steve, or Kevin?
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah,
I'll take
go for
Steve, please,
Steve.
Jeremy.
The newest Egghead, fine. Jane from the Bramflicks taking on Steve from the Eggheads, the man with 10,000 books. You have. It's true, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, it's true.
Didn't say I'd read him.
He hasn't read them, that's true. To ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions. Okay, Jane, arts and books against Steve. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first, please.
Good luck, Jane. Here we go. In Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, what is the first name of Bottom, the weaver? Nick, Brian, or Gerald?
Shakespeare isn't one of my top authors. However, I think the answer is Nick.
Nick is correct. Well done. Do you like the idea of Brian Bottom? Judith? I can hear Judith laugh.
Gerald.
Gerald Bottom. Okay. Steve, the man with 10,000 books. Which of these poets was born in June 1926 in Newark, New Jersey? Alfred Lord Tennyson, Seamus Heaney, or Allen Ginsberg?
Well, from the choices you've given me, Jeremy, that must be Allen Ginsberg.
Yes, it is Allen Ginsberg. Well done. Lord Tennyson was way back.
Yeah,
And Seamus Heaney was, I'm guessing, Ireland.
yeah.
Okay, Jane, your question. John Clayton is the real name of which literary hero? Zorro, Tarzan, or the Scarlet Pimpernel?
I'm going to take the line of least defence here and go for the middle one, which is Tarzan.
The line of least defence in the sense that the other two require a bit more background knowledge, is that right?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
But Tarzan is right. Really well done. So, Steve, your question. The Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, who was born in 1907, is said to have had a relationship with which revolutionary leader? Giuseppe Garibaldi, Leon Trotsky, or Simon Bolivar?
Well, I think she famously cohabited with Leon Trotsky for a while, so that's my answer.
Leon Trotsky is correct. Okay, Steve is playing well. That's a bit inconvenient, Jane, isn't it?
It is.
Get this right, put him under some pressure. Maybe you can knock him out. The American Philip Guston, who was born in 1913, was an acclaimed figure in which of the arts? So Philip Guston, G-U-S-T-O-N. Poetry, fashion, or painting?
The name doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm going to go for fashion.
Fashion is, I think, usually the best choice in these difficult situations. But here it is wrong.
Ah,
It's painting.
okay.
Steve has a chance to book his place in the final round. Carruthers and Davis are the names of the two heroes in which classic adventure novel? Steve, is it The Riddle of the Sands, The 39 Steps, or The Lost World?
Well, I've read all three, which should help me, but... Well, the 39 Steps was Richard Hannay, so as you've not mentioned him, I'd probably rule that one out. The Lost World, I know Professor Challenger features at some point. Because I can identify a hero for the other two, I will try The Riddle of the Sands, but I'm not sure at all.
Yeah, elimination is a good way of doing it. The Riddle of the Sands is the right answer. Well done, Steve. Carruthers and Davis are in that book, and you're in the final round. Jane, sorry. He got all three right. It's terrible when that happens, isn't it?
It certainly is.
You've been knocked out. Come back to us. One more round to play. So, as it stands, the Bramflicks have lost 2 brains from the final round. The Eggheads have lost 1. So it's a chance to level it up now before the all-important final for £15,000. And it's film and TV. This is good now.
Yeah.
Surely, who is the film buff? Daryl or Paul?
What do you think?
Sure. Do you want to take it or shall I take it? I'll take it.
go?
I'll
Come on,
take
Daryl,
it.
you-
I'll take it.
Daryl, retired IT manager, and you can have, well, they're both good players, Barry or Kevin.
Barry, perhaps?
Barry?
Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah, go with that.
We have some dissent here from Kevin. All right, we'll go for Kevin. Go on, I'll go for
You can't
Kevin.
avoid him, so good luck. Daryl from the Bramflicks versus Kevin from the Eggheads. Please go to the question room for the last time. Daryl, I'm feeling like this could be your round.
Possibly, we'll see.
How many films a year do you watch in the film club?
We usually watch about 20 films, so that's a mix of family-friendly films to try and get people to bring along their kids, classics and recent box office big hits.
Oh, perfect. And Kevin, it sounds like your kind of thing. I think you'd be a member.
Absolutely,
What's your record number of films you've seen in one day?
I probably, at some point in the past, I've probably done 6 at a festival or something like that, but five would be the normal practical maximum.
Yeah, early start to do 6, I would think.
Yes, it would have to be, yeah. It would have to be. I mean, at festivals, of course, film screenings are likely to start at something like 10 in the morning, and then they won't finish. If it's a Saturday or a Friday or a Saturday night, they won't finish until pretty late as well. So it's quite doable.
2 film lovers here, playing film and TV. Daryl, exciting for us, I hope for you too. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, please, Jeremy.
And here we go. Which actor plays the title role in the crime drama DCI Banks? David Suchet, Stephen Tompkinson, or Martin Freeman?
That's not one that I've watched at all. So this is really going to have to be a guess. I'm going to go for Stephen Tompkinson.
You're absolutely right. Well done. Stephen Tompkinson is the right answer. Kevin, in which decade was the Charlie Chaplin film Modern Times originally released? 1930s, 50s, or 70s?
Well, it was one that was effectively largely silent, which made it unusual at the time because it was the mid-1930s.
1930s is right. And unusual because most films were talkies then, weren't they?
By that point.
Right, so and he's stuck in the silent
Yes,
vogue. Yeah. Daryl, your question. Which comic book character has been played on screen by many actresses, including Amy Adams and Margot Kidder? Mary Jane Watson, Selina Kyle, or Lois Lane?
Well, the only name there on that list that I recognise is Lois Lane, so I'm going to go for Lois Lane.
Lois Lane is correct. And is that Superman's girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, or Clark Kent's anyway.
Clark Kent's. All right, Kevin, to catch up. Sergeant June Ackland, played by Trudy Goodwin, was a regular character in which long-running drama series? Bergerac, The Bill, or Holby City?
Well, I did watch this for most of its early years. Well, in fact, for quite a long time. It started in the mid-80s, and I watched it probably up until about the millennium. And it's The Bill.
Yes, Trudy Goodwin was in The Bill. Well done. The Bill is correct. Tight here. I can't work out who's going to win this round. Daryl, which of these comedians was the host of the 1970s children's game show Runaround? Jimmy Tarbuck, Roy Walker, or Mike Reed?
Right, well, I remember Jimmy Tarbuck doing lots of things on TV. I remember Mike Reed from Pop Quiz and programmes like that. I'm not sure who Roy Walker is, but I think I will go for Roy Walker.
Challenges, what do we associate Roy Walker with?
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase. You've seen that, Daryl. Is he the answer here, Eggheads?
No,
No, he's not. Who's the answer?
it's Mike Reed, but it's Mike Reed the comedian rather than Mike Reed the DJ.
Good point. So Runaround was hosted by Mike Reed, and Dave points out that's not the DJ, that's the comedian. So we go to you, Kevin. You have a chance to take the round with this question. Which US actor married the actress Anna Faris in 2009? Chris Pratt, Chris Pine, or Chris Hemsworth?
No, I must admit to not knowing this one. And Chris Hemsworth, of the 3, has been around in terms of cinema headlining. Anyway, he's been around the longest, I would say, of the 3. Chris Pratt's come to success relatively late, and Chris Pine not much before him. Could be any of them, actually. Technically, could be any of them. For no reason, then I'll just arbitrarily rule them out. So I'll rule out Chris Pratt. I will go with no confidence whatsoever. I'll go for Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is the wrong answer.
Yeah, not surprised.
It's Chris Pratt.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the one you ruled out. So
Yeah.
after 3 questions, the scores are level. Daryl, bit of a let-off there. We go to sudden death. Gets a bit harder. I don't give you alternatives. Which actress hosted the Academy Awards ceremony with James Franco in 2011?
Well, I don't remember it, so I'm really just going to have to kind of think of some names and see whether they feel right. I think just for the sake of giving you an answer and not dragging it out too long, I'll say Nicole Kidman.
No, it was Anne Hathaway. Critically panned as well. Kevin, for the round. Created at the end of the 1970s, what is the name of the nephew of the cartoon character Scooby-Doo?
I think he's called Scrappy-Doo.
For the round, the correct answer is Scrappy-Doo. Well done, Kevin. On sudden death, you've taken it. Sorry, Daryl. You ran in very close there, but you've been beaten by our egghead, and as a result, will not be in the final round. If you come back to us, both of you, we'll play that final round for £15,000. Here's the thing, eggheads, that Trudy Goodwin from The Bill is the mother of...
LaRue.
LaRue, the pop star who did Bulletproof. Whose real name is?
Don't know.
Ah, I've stumped you now.
Used to know it.
Ellie Jackson.
Jackson.
Oh.
That'll come up one day.
Yeah, well,
They'll remember, I promise they'll remember that. You can see them thinking, oh, a fact. This is what we have been playing towards. It is time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So, Daryl, Peter and Jane from the Bram Flicks, and also Judith from the Eggheads, would you please now leave the studio? Well, here we are, Paul and Richard, and I wish you well. And you're actually people who've quizzed together in the Carlisle Quiz League before.
We have indeed, yeah. Been doing it for 3 seasons now, so we've all had a go. It's quite a friendly league, to be honest. But we're obviously keen competitors.
I'm sure. And the Shoulder of Mutton pub we should mention, shouldn't we?
The Shoulder of Mutton, yeah, indeed. Wilma, who's been serving pints for 50 years behind the bar as well.
50 years?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's had a break. She goes home.
Shout out to Wilma. How about, should we all say hi, Wilma?
Hi, Wilma.
Hey, there we are. Paul and Richard, you're playing to win the Bram Flicks £15,000. Dave, Barry, Steve, Kevin, you're playing to keep this roll going and to protect the Eggheads' precious reputation. As usual, I will ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time, they're all general knowledge. You may confer. So, Paul and Richard, the question is, can you, with your 2 brains and with the Shoulder of Mutton watching on, take down these 4 in a famous victory?
No pressure then.
I'm sure it can be done.
Shot.
Best shot, excellent. Would you like to go first or second?
Go first, please.
So here we go. The word antediluvian is sometimes used to suggest that something or someone is what? Bad-tempered, old-fashioned, or easily impressed?
Right. Antediluvian means before the flood. So, flood, biblical flood, something old. Bad-tempered. It's not bad-tempered. I'm fairly certain it's old-fashioned. Are we all right with that?
Go for it.
I think it is, by process of elimination, and knowing that antediluvian means before the flood, thinking old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned is quite right. Yeah, before the flood, that's right. But used when people, I guess they don't even know there's a flood reference in there. It's just come to mean old, dated, whatever. Eggheads, what is the meaning of the UK road sign comprising a white circle with a thick black diagonal line through it? Low-flying aircraft, national speed limit applies, or dual carriageway ends?
National speed limit applies.
Speed limit, wouldn't it?
All happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that's fine.
OK. It's national speed limit applies, Jeremy.
National speed limit applies is correct. Back to you, challengers. Enjoying a brief prominence in the early 1960s, what was the Watusi? So it's W-A-T-U-S-I. Dance, hairstyle, or dessert?
OK, I think definitely ruling out dessert, because I like my puddings and I think I would have heard of that. Hairstyle, not much of an expert on hairstyles either. Veering towards dance, it's springing something vaguely in my mind there. Watusi sounds vaguely African, so dance.
Shall I go dance? Yeah.
Dance.
Yeah.
Should we go for dance? We're going to go for dance.
Dance is right. 2 out of 2, well done. Your teammates are cheering you on here, Paul and Richard. Eggheads, the Soviet competitor Larisa Latinina was a leading name in which sport in the 1950s and 60s? Was Larisa gymnastics, tennis, or athletics?
Gymnastics, definitely. Yeah, gymnastics.
Yeah. It's gymnastics, Jeremy.
Gymnastics is correct. 2 each. Bit tense.
Very.
We can handle it though, can't we, Bramflex? A ballerina, a Moor, a charlatan, and a puppet are the main characters in which ballet with music by Stravinsky? A Moor is capital M-O-O-R. Petrushka, The Rite of Spring, or The Firebird?
Well, I'm not too clued up on ballet either.
I mean, I know you did the Firebird. This definitely isn't a strong point.
Definitely not for both of us.
Petrushka sounds as if it should have a ballerina in it.
Is
The
that
Rite
throwing
of
you off?
Spring could be throwing us off a little bit there.
Do we go down the middle?
Gonna go down the middle with this one, Jeremy, and go for the Rite of Spring.
The Rite of Spring is your answer. Okay, we're playing for £15,000. Could be crucial to get the third one right. Let's see if the Eggheads know Eggheads.
It's Petrushka.
Petrushka.
Petrushka is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, Eggheads, you can take the contest with this. How much time was added to the world's clocks at the end of 2016 in order to stay in sync with the Earth's rotation? Is it 1/100th of a second, 1/10th of a second, or 1 second?
Well, it was.
I thought it was a second.
I thought it was a second.
It was a leap second,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I thought it was a second.
That came to mind instantly.
Yeah.
I think there was.
They would never add 100th of a second. It was much too short a measure.
I think it was actually described as a leap second.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm happy with that because I thought it was second.
Well, happy?
Yeah.
I thought it was a second myself.
Well, we believe at the end of 2016 it was described as a leap second, so on that basis we're going for 1 second.
1 second. They seem to have a memory of this. Do you have a memory of this story?
Yeah, we
yeah.
It is the leap second.
Yeah.
The answer is 1 second. We say congratulations, Eggheads. You have won. Well, the Petrushka was difficult there.
Yeah, there was no clue,
No.
really. It was guesswork.
It's hard to work back from the name of it. Well done, Eggs, on your... I thought you might be thrown. I thought you might go 10th of a second there, but...
I did very well there.
Yeah, well, they did, but also
Congratulations,
you did too, really, to get 2 in the final when they're in this kind of form. Commiserations, Bramflex. The Eggheads have done what comes naturally to them. The winning streak continues, doesn't it? It means that the challengers don't go home with the £15,000, so we will roll that money over. Eggheads, well done. Unbeatable, I think, now. It'll never happen, or will it? Join us next time to see if a new team of challengers can take them down for £16,000. Until we quiz again, goodbye.